Thanks for the support as a channel member, Todd Thomas. Yeah, it's called the KEV ratio. Yeah, no, for some reason not many people have heard of it. You're going to be hearing a lot of it over the next few years, I would suggest. I mean, it's really simple. We just want to make sure we have more points on the board at any point in the season, more points on the board than we have games played. If we're doing that, we're meeting the KEV ratio and we're probably not going to get relegated. It's the simplest of plans. Hello and welcome to part 10 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Super League 1. We're at home against Lamia and away against O FI Crete. Do we call them OFI? Do we call them Crete? I don't know how we describe other teams here in Greece yet. Since you were last with me, I was panicking briefly. I was panicking for the first month of the season. August was not a fun time. Who's ever heard of having a miserable August in Greece? It's just not a thing that I can comprehend as an English person, where Greece is a holiday destination. But as soon as we got through September, which was also pretty grim, and into October, things start looking up. Inexplicably, after all those defeats and rough form, we managed to pick up a 5-0 away win in the league against Volos, who, bless their cotton socks, clearly aren't very good. I think where are they in the league? They're second bottom in the league. And then we went to Panetolikis and beat them 2-0 as well. Plus, won in the first leg of the fifth round of the Greek Cup against Platanias, who were a team that were down in that league with us last year. So what that means is this is what the league looks like after 7 games, and we are finally, for the first time all year, ahead of the KEV ratio. 8 points from our first 7 games. We do have a game in hand on everybody else, apart from the team we play today, Lamia, who are rock bottom of the league. We're at home. Surely we pick up a win here, and that could catapult us up to 7th place, hovering around just outside the qualification spots for that championship group, which would be ridiculous if we managed to achieve that. Also ridiculous, we have the third top scorer in the league, Olivier Boumal. We've seen him score a couple of goals in videos already. 4 goals from his first 7 games in the league for us. That tells me he's a good signing. He's already having his best goal-scoring season of his career. Well, actually, that's not true. He scored 5 goals that year, but he played 31 games. He's got 4 from 7 here, and hopefully he continues in that rich vein of form. As you can see, Fat John, currently the best player in the league. Come home, Fat John. All is forgiven. We'll take you back. We have had a little bit of an injury problem. That means if Fat John was here, there's a good chance he'd be playing at the base of the midfield. Franco Halilaj has picked up a torn calf muscle, already been out for a little while, still going to be out for probably a couple more months, having already missed 7 weeks already. So he was away on international duty when he picked up the injury. Hopefully it's not going to be something that sets back his development. Obviously still only 19 years old and considered one of, if not the best player at the club. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. We're not exactly missing him though, because we've switched the tactic up a little bit. We've dropped Kaimakamis has dropped back to play in the in fact it's not him. Where's the other? It's this guy. This guy had been... Why is past Kev? Because he hasn't repicked the team, having come off the back of the cup game, maybe. What are you up to, past Kev? Why is this guy not in the team? I don't understand. Logic tells me he should be. So Andriopoulos is the guy who's dropped back there, and he's been playing as a ball-winning midfielder in front of the back four, which has allowed us to make Androutsos further forward into an advanced playmaker, and he is doing rather well there, picking up a 9.1 against Volos. He was instrumental in we just took Volos apart. It was ridiculous. So as Miles told me all those years ago, Kev, you're only allowed to use one playmaker. If Androutsos stays in there as the advanced playmaker, when Halilaj does return, the two of them are going to have to fight to see who gets to be the playmaker and who has to go to a less glamorous position. The other change we're making today is Boumal coming over to the right-hand side, which again, I assume past Kev has a plan about. Why has he done that? Because Nacho is injured. Nacho's got a red leg and will be missing today's game. So that team in full. Can't you tell I picked this 4 days ago? I've had the weekend off for the Streamer Showdown. This is the first episode I've recorded post losing my Streamer Showdown crown. I don't want to talk about it. So we're going with Burkic in goal, a back four of Giannoutzos, Zizopoulos, Papazoglu, and Sanakakis. I got a little better at these games towards the end of last week, to these names even. Goodness me, Kev. I can understand you not being able to say the Greek names, but confusing the English word names with games, not acceptable. Andriopoulos at the base of the midfield, Petralis and Androutsos ahead of him, and then Armenkas and Boumau supporting Gorka Santa Maria up front, who has now finally scored some goals. 3 goals from 7. He's starting to come into some form as well, which we needed, because I think we definitely needed that Nikos replacement, and off the back of those first few games, I was a little bit worried that maybe we didn't have one, but he has slowly but surely started to play himself into some form here in Greece, and as he gets more and more settled in, gets more and more familiar with the language, hopefully we can expect more goals from Gorka, and he's in here now. Cross comes over looking for Boumau, who's already scored. 19 seconds on the clock, and Olivier Boumau scores his 6th goal of the season, which pushes us up into that 7th place spot. I mean, I'm not expecting to qualify for the Championship group this season. I think that would be a sensational overachievement if we manage to do it. And you have to factor in that we are playing a lot of the teams who are expected to be in a relegation battle at the moment. You saw what our form was like when we were playing the better teams. So if we do manage to sneak into that group, the end of this season is going to be properly miserable as we just get our buttocks handed to us over and over and over again. But it's certainly nice to be getting points on the board for that KEV ratio. There's 1 automatic relegation from this league and 1 relegation playoff. So the more points we can collect, the better. It's a 26 plus then the bottom half play each other once more. I'm trying to do maths whilst watching a football match. So how many teams is that in the bottom half? That's another 7. So it's like a 33 game season if you don't get into the Championship group. So I guess points target wise, 35 points. We're going to feel with only 1 relegation spot. I imagine 30 will probably be enough. I might have a look in a second to see what sort of points totals last year's relegated teams were on. But I think in my mind, if we aim for 35 points for this season and just look to get to those 35 points as quickly as possible, I think that will probably lead to us not being in a relegation battle, which is the ultimate goal for this year, to keep Mrs Wearmouth happy. And it doesn't look like there's many fans turned up tonight. I mean, you could sit there and count them while I'm doing this sentence, which isn't the best of signs. Don't get complacent. I would expect to be more than 1 goal up against the team that are rock bottom, especially having scored after 19 seconds. But it looks like we've taken our foot off the gas a little bit here, and we've let them in. And Burkic makes the save, but that's there's been a couple of little worrying signs after the 5-0 away from home against Volos. This is a team below them in the league. They've only picked up 1 point all season so far. I would have expected this to be a little more comfortable. So it would be nice if we could go and grab a couple more goals in this second half, please. Anybody? I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we were at least 2-0 up. Zizopoulos plays it forward to Petralis, back to Zizopoulos again. Androutsos plays it forward to Armenkas on this left-hand side. Cross comes in. He was looking for Boumau again. What's gone on there? Is that a penalty? Or have we we're going over to the little telly. It must be a penalty appeal. I think it said at the bottom it was for handball, which seems a little bit harsh. Sports Interactive, we want to be able to see these VAR decisions when stuff like this happens. I want to judge for myself. Was it a handball? And we have been given the penalty. I'm not sure who our penalty taker is. Boumau, presumably. Is that him? That is him. Boumau stepping up for his 2nd of the game. And that's a very good penalty into that top corner. A 7th goal of the season now. And a cartwheel to boot. And he must be closing in on being the top scorer in the entire league at the moment. As a 30-year-old, having the season of his life on the left wing. Obviously, this system seems to suit Olivier Boumau, who is very quickly becoming a hero here at Apollon. Massive long throw. Goodness me. That had some oomph behind it. No one to get on the end of it, but interesting to see just how long that throw could be. And that might be something we look to capitalise on a little bit more as we progress in this season. Boomal now struggling to get the ball clear, but he does get a hold of it at the second time of asking. Big ball forward, looking for Santa Maria, who's in here and grabs his 5th goal of the season. It's 3-0. It's now comfortable. Gorka's got a cartwheel of his own. And at 3-0 on the 70-minute mark, I think that's probably my cue to start making a few substitutions. That's a lovely finish from Santa Maria. He's not had much in the way of chances today, but when he was presented with one, he didn't miss it. And that's got to be an important thing. Right, we don't have any wide players who can come on. Rentsas can play right midfield, but we're not messing around with right midfield. So Armenkas is just going to have to stay on unless he gets injured. I mean, he's not close to match fit. It's not going to do him any harm to stay out there when we're playing comfortably. Giannoutsas can come off for Rentsas. He's the guy who had the really long throw before. He's only got a 9 for his long throws, but he got it into the 6-yard box, which is no mean feat. And we're going to bring Cragiopolis on for Petralis on the in the central midfield there. He's I think he was one of the guys who was here last season. Yeah, he spent the season out on loan at Platanias and had a pretty decent season for them. So hopefully he can start getting a few more opportunities as the season progresses. We're attacking again down this right-hand side. It's found, was that Androutsas, maybe? The names are so long, sometimes I don't get a chance to read the entire name before it moves on to somebody else. But they're trying to come down this left-hand side where we are playing a right-back out of position at left-back at the moment, which probably isn't the most brilliant idea I've ever had. And they've got a player called Tyrone with a fantastic moustache. He's a real boy. Tyrone's a real boy, and he's got a real moustache. I want to sign Tyrone now. I need to stop talking about him so that he doesn't hear me and score again. But I do need to remember after this game, we want to have a closer look at Tyrone, because anybody with a moustache like that and a smile like that and a name like that would not look out of place in a KEV team. Kaimakakis is going to come on for the last 10 minutes, which is a change past KEV. So he seemed to want to start with Kaimakakis. Kaimakamis, not Kakis. Kaimakamis, who is one of our own youngsters, 5-star potential. That might have been the logic. That might have been why we were giving him a game against the bottom of the table team, just to try and do a bit more youth development. Now I'm drifting back into the mindset of past KEV. It does seem like today would have been the ideal opportunity to give him a start. If only I had, eh? Right, Rentsas on this right-hand side finds Cragiopolis to Kaimakakis. Kaimakamis, isn't it? We might have to change his name to Kaimakakis because it just rolls off the tongue, apparently. Kaimakamis, which I know is still probably pronounced wrong. The amount every day we get a couple of Greek people telling me how I'm saying stuff wrong in the comments, and I do appreciate it. I do like to be told what the correct pronunciations are. I'm just never going to remember them. We've given away a penalty here. 92 minutes gone. Burkic does not make the save, and all of a sudden, after looking very comfortable 20 minutes ago, with a minute and a half left, it's all looking a little bit too close for comfort again. Rentsas is going to try and do a long throw of his own. That was an enormous throw. And Armenkas has got on has got on the end of that. It almost looked like it had been thrown straight in. But Armenakis is obviously... his name's Armenakis. Oh, my goodness. We've got... I mean, after all the names we had in non-league to legend this year, I cannot have a player called Armenakis. Oh. Just stay composed. They might not have noticed. We might be all right. Couple of changes for the O FI Crete game then. Nacho's fit to play again, so Boomal can go back over to the left-hand side. Nacho comes back in on the right. I've also changed the goalkeeper over because it occurred to me I'd dropped Burkic. Poor old Alberto Gonzalez has played like the last 7 or 8 games, and then because I forgot that I'd put him in the team and had dropped Burkic just randomly makes a mysterious comeback for absolutely no reason, and he has now been dropped again despite I was going to say not doing anything wrong. He did concede 2 goals against the team bottom of the league, so he kind of did do that wrong. Other than that, it is the same side. Boomal got player of the week in the Greek league, which is a thing, and Gorka Santa Maria got goal of the week, which is also a thing. So we're playing well. We're scoring good goals. We're a good side all of a sudden. We're actually above this team in the league. O FI Crete. Like I say, I know nothing about them. I don't even know whether we call them O FI or Crete, or they might be called something else entirely. The fact they're O FI on there, I guess that's what we call them. But presumably, when you're pronouncing that in Greek, O and F and I don't sound anything like the letters that they sound like in English. So, Bumal now. On the left-hand side, plays it forward to Santa Maria, who turns slower than I've ever seen a man turn before, but somehow keeps hold of the ball. Gives it to Androutsos, who plays it out beautifully to Tsanakakis. Cross comes in. We are playing some football I can't keep up with here. My word, that moved around quickly. And I don't think there was any interception. I think that was just our players playing some sensational football. Cross comes in from Tsanakakis. And then it does take a bit of a deflection there, but Santa Maria with a little back heel back to Nacho, and then Androutsos plays it across to Bumal, and it's a wonder goal. It's a really, really good goal, and Bumal scores again. I've lost track of how many goals that man scored this season now, but as things stand, we are currently up in the championship group. We're only 4 points off the top of the league. I mean, I'm going to say that very quietly, but I will say it again. We're only 4 points off the top of the league, which... I mean, that doesn't feel right, does it? We're coming down to earth with a very solid bump very soon, because we are playing all of the bottom half teams one after the other at the moment, which is lovely. But sooner or later, we're going to come up against the good teams again. But then I guess if we come up against them in better form with a bit of confidence behind us, who knows what might happen? Nacho trying to get the crossover, but not able to do it. And OFI with the break, but it was a break that we didn't need to see. We didn't get the highlight for it. And the next thing we see, it's Giannoutsos again with another enormous throw. I mean, I like the long throws when they're in attacking positions. There's no reason to do them from there. Petralis, I thought, was getting himself sent off there. And because he clearly wants to be sent off, he had another go at it. How on earth is he going to get sent off for the second challenge here when the first one was hideous? He is going. I'm sure he's going because he should have gone for the first one. But he went sliding in from behind, nothing given, gets up, and a really innocuous little kick is what gets him sent off. Absolutely baffling. We're going to have a look at the replay of that because I don't understand how he's been sent off for the thing that he's been sent off for there. It makes little to no sense. Right, I'm going to try and be Mr. Fancy Pants here and do that. I mean, it's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. It's completely unnecessary, but it just keeps us covered nicer. It allows Nacho to come in and kind of be the extra midfield player, which he is capable of doing. What's his face? Tsanakakis can still go past him on the overlap. I mean, to me, it makes sense. We've actually got the players that make it work because these guys can just... It's almost worth having him there because Nacho's going to drift in there. Tsanakakis is going to come past him. And Nacho's good enough. I mean, he's injured, which isn't great, but he is good enough to almost be able to play in both those roles. I want to look at the replay for this, though, because I still don't understand how he was sent off for the second one and not the first one. So let's just... have a little look. So this is the first one. Absolutely lunges in. Nothing. Well, I'll have another go then. I'll get that. And it's that little trip. He gets sent off for the little trip. Ridiculous. I mean, like I say, he deserved to go for the first challenge. Unless the referee is just really, really slow to blow his whistle. But to me, it seems like there's a madness happening. Right, Alberto keeps hold of the ball there from the pretty tame effort from OFI. And there's Nacho with his flick on. See, look, it's taking the shape I wanted it to take. I've become a button clicker. Nacho played Tsanakakis in. Tsanakakis looking to get into a crossing position, skips past his man. Nacho's there and very nearly scores a goal, playing the exact role I imagined him playing when we went down to 10 men. One of my great weaknesses on Football Manager over the years has been not knowing what to do when we go down to 10 men because it always ruins me. And this isn't any great tactical innovation, as I'm sure you've already told me down in the comments section. But it's just the fact that Nacho can do it, which makes it possible to go into this kind of shape, which is a pretty useful thing to be able to do. We're knocking the ball around nicely. And I'm less comfortable with us doing it here, especially when we're down to 10 men. If we could get the ball at the other end of the pitch, or at least out of our half, I'd feel a lot more comfortable about the quick, short passing play. It's just not necessary in this half. And we've let OFI in here, but Tsanakakis is in with the tackle. He's had a good game today, and Nacho playing it forward finds Gorka, who holds the ball up nicely, plays it all the way back to Andriopoulos, and Papazoglu, big ball forward. Santa Maria's in here. It's some pretty poor defending from the guy who's supposed to be marking him, who'd stepped forward. I don't know if he's trying to catch him offside, in which case he needs to talk to his buddy, or if he's going for a header here. But that guy just comes. I think he's going for the header. He's defended that as well as I would have. He's taken 2 steps forward and done a little bit of a. Oh, I missed it. Oh, he's behind me now. Oh, never mind. Oh, he's scored. Bother. I'd be ruining him if he was my player now. Right, 2-0 up. Has Nacho just clattered in? No. It's because I was looking at the pause button, getting ready to do the traditional 70th minute changes, and I thought Nacho had done a foul. He's played the ball in nicely to Santa Maria there again. He's got not much in the way of support, which I guess is the disadvantage of playing Nacho that little bit deeper. And Androutsos is playing on a support rather than an attacking role now as well, so he's getting less involved. Boumal still being a bother, a pest, like he usually does. Right, we're going to take Giannoutsos off because we can't afford another red card when he's already on a yellow. And Andriopoulos, Ryan Lawson is the man I'm being suggested to bring on for my. I guess it's because we don't have. I guess we could put either of these guys. But you know what? Is this Ryan Lawson's debut? I think it is. Let's give Ryan Lawson his debut. We're down to 10 men. What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen here? Who's the best bet to push forward? We'll put Zizopoulos further forward. Who can just slot into that role. And Ryan Lawson we can't have 2 stoppers. So you're going to have to just be a normal defender. Ryan Lawson can be a stopper. And this is a debut for channel member Ryan Lawson. Already been more involved in this series than he was in the Non-League to Legend series that he also had a player in. The advantage of being a name in the game channel member for a series with a big focus on youth development. Boumal doing very well again. Plays it into Santa Maria, who forces the save, and it's somehow kept off the line. And Lawson is there to just clean up the mess. He's a stopper. He was doing stopping. Some lovely stopping from Ryan Lawson, who's already picked up a yellow card. Have we got a thug on our hands here? Goodness me. Right, Androutsos is going to be the final change. He's not, because we still don't have a central midfielder on, which was the problem we had last time I looked at making this change. We just won't make a fun. Have we got any? See, Nacho's getting really tired. He wasn't fit to begin with. Armanakis is going to have to come on for him. Yeah. He'll just have to try and play that role. I'm going to try not to say his name. What's his first? His name's Panos. We might have to change his name to Panos so I don't get demonetised every time he plays. Right, Boumal. That was an audacious effort that didn't really come off. But I thought Ryan Lawson had been booked again. But then I remembered that would have resulted in him being sent off, which would be quite the debut. And luckily, isn't what's happened. Although OFI do have a free kick. 1.5 minutes left. Alberto has done a fantastic double save there, but then his defenders have let him down, although it's been immediately disallowed. Apparently it went to a goal review, but we went immediately back into a highlight rather than having any of the faffing about. Now we get the faffing. So first save, there's your offside, but here's another fantastic save. They then hit the crossbar, and it's then disallowed afterwards. But Alberto did brilliantly there. Right, that was a very, very good result. And that has been a very, very good episode. 9 games played, 14 points on the board. We've got the top scorer in the division. Androutsos is now the joint second best player in the division. Fat John's nowhere to be seen now. And we're in the top 6. This is there's a madness happening, boys and girls. I guess tomorrow we have to come back for AEK, because without AEK Athens, this save never exists, because Mrs Wearmouth never comes to Greece. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.